At this point, this is just getting ridiculous. Victor Wembanyama scores 17 points in 3 minutes and hits fadeaways like these. These performances by Wemby are just starting to get a lot more normal, but he did this against the first seed in the Western Conference, which makes it even more crazy. But let me tell you guys something. The Victor Wembanyama you are seeing right now is the worst Victor Wembanyama you're gonna see.
What did you just say?
He is only getting started, and this version of him is drawing a lot of conversations from talking heads like Shaquille O'Neal, Paul Pierce. You have Rudy Gobert talking about him. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about who Victor Wembanyama models his game after, who deserves to win the Defensive Player of the Year, and this is about to get crazy. Before we get any further though, what are you doing? Hit that like and sub. Let's get to 15k subs before the end of this month. Let's get right into today's video. So there has been a lot of conversation about the Defensive Player of the Year award, and it's between two guys, Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. But there are a lot of people talking about Rudy Gobert winning this, and that's because his team is tied for first in the Western Conference. But when we look at this aspect and how successful your team is, it's not an individual award anymore. Rather, I think you should look at the impact the player has on defense. When Victor Wembanyama is not on the floor, the San Antonio Spurs are dead last in defense. Yeah, that shows you a lot. And so far, Wemby leads the league in blocks by far, leads the league in stocks by a pretty big margin. And hear this, he is the only player this season to have 10 blocks in a single game. And did I tell you, he's the only player with back-to-back 5 steal, 5 block games since Michael freaking Jordan. And Shaquille O'Neal had something to say about the Defensive Player of the Year award, and him being kind of confused on whether the Defensive Player of the Year is based on how good your record is and you're anchoring that squad, or if you're just a defensive problem.
So does that disqualify him as being a defensive player of the year if his team is not winning?
No, how about this? So you always pose that question. I'm going to pose it to you.
I don't know the rules anymore.
You don't have to.
Okay.
In your mind, is a defensive player of the year someone that is the anchor of the best defense?
No.
Or someone that whenever people come in the lane, they can't even get a shot on?
Someone that is a stopper and other guys have really hard difficulty scoring.
So you're talking to Wembanyama?
Wembanyama.
Yeah, you're talking to Wemby.
But hold on. We're not in control of the voting, so the voters, whoever's in control of the vote, they're going to put his team, just like you said, his team has the worst defensive rating. So
I'm posing a question. I said, can you win Defensive Player of the Year on a team that is one of the worst defensive teams in the league?
With the new rules and regulations, you can't. But back, like again, if you look at it as a Defensive Player of the Year as a singular person, then yes, hell yes, because it's a great defensive
He ain't gonna answer that, but give us the forecast on what's going on.
Which he's supposed to be doing at 7-5.
Shaquille O'Neal is speaking facts. You know, some of the voters are just gonna go for the best record, you know, best defensive rating. But let's just keep some numbers in mind here. Rudy Gobert's 2018 Defensive Player of the Year season, he had 44 steals and 129 blocks. And while in the first 42 games of Victor Wembanyama's season, he had 47 steals and 134 blocks on minute restrictions. Are you kidding me? So technically, he could have won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2018 without a question. And let me give you another stat. In the last 3 seasons, all 3 Defensive Player of the Years have added up to a total of 252 blocks. And well, how many blocks does Wembanyama have this season? 252 blocks, which is the same as the last 3 Defensive Player of the Years combined. But let's hear what Rudy Gobert, which is the favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year, has to say about Victor Wembanyama.
But because of his heart and who he is, his mindset, his soul, you know, I've seen that in him from day one. You know, the way he talks, the way his passion, his dedication. Like I knew that it was going to be special, but I didn't expect him to be doing the things that he's been doing so early. You know, it's been one thing. You know, I see his dedication, I see his work ethic, I see, you know, his mindset, and I know that he's going to do some things that have never been done before in the history of our sports. He's going to change the game, and I'm so proud of him. I'm there for him, and I've always tried to be the best mentor I can be for him, not just on the floor, but also as a person. Because I think that's what it comes down to. But he's way ahead of where I thought he would be in year one, and he got better every month. You could see early in the season he was physically like he had to adapt to the physicality of the NBA game, and also the scheduling, the traveling, the games. Obviously, I think the Spurs did an amazing job of protecting him, keeping him on limitation early on, and gradually, raise his minutes. But the level of comfort that he has now, the level of understanding of the game that he shows now, I thought that was going to be there in year 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I've been so proud, so impressed with the things he's been doing, and it's exciting.
I like how Rudy Gobert talks about the minute limitation that they put on Wemby, and that just showed why the Spurs were such a good franchise for Wemby, because they had people like Robinson, Tim Duncan, that have all been mentored by Popovich, and I think it's going to be such a good thing for Wemby. But getting praise from this Defensive Player of the Year is so good because he has someone under his wing that can help him out to be even more elite on the defensive end. And even the physicality of the NBA, it's a whole different beast. And even learning how to play in the NBA requires a lot more skill and learning different footwork. And speaking about skills, let's hear what Victor Wembanyama had to say about who he models his game after. Who does Victor Wembanyama play like?
We're products of our environment. I say that to say this. When I was your age, 17, 18, 19, I watched Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. With all the skills that you have, who did you watch growing up?
Man, the thing is, one of my coaches always said I never looked myself in the mirror, because I've been looking at guys that don't only have the same body as me. Nobody has the same body as me. So I've been watching guards, Steph Curry, LeBron James. I've been watching Giannis, KD, so pretty much everyone without ever wondering if I was allowed to do this.
So Wemby practically has watched everyone, and his people told him he wasn't looking himself in the mirror, but at the end of the day, all of this Steph Curry clip, LeBron James film watching has all worked, as he's able to dribble like a guard at 7'5". He's able to shoot like a guard at 7'5", and also dunk that thing like his idols. But my question to you guys is, do you think Victor Wembanyama deserves a Defensive Player of the Year award? And why do you think that? Hit that like and sub. I will catch you guys in the next one.